Hey, what's up guys, my name is Charlie. Today we're going to be doing some more requested reaction videos, and this video is requested by Billy Mount, and it's going to be Cinematic Excrement episode 79, Gem and the Holograms. Ooh, boy, that rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? Yeah, I've been watching quite a lot of Cinematic Excrement requested reaction videos so far, and they're pretty good. I enjoy them very much. I don't think I've ever heard of the movie Gem and the Holograms. I've never heard of it, unfortunately. So maybe it's a blessing. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise, because this could be a god-awful, terrible movie that normally the Cinematic Excrement sort of reviews. So yeah, maybe this is a good thing that I haven't heard or ever seen about this movie. But that's all about to change because I'm about to watch this video and we're going to see what this movie is all about. Let's go. Warning, the following video may contain language that some people might find crude, vulgar, and objectionable. Good, I like it already. That's my type. I like that. That's beautiful, beautiful words right there. Make no apologies.
Welcome to a truly outrageous episode of Cinematic Excrement. And if that line didn't already give it away, and if you didn't see the title or the thumbnail for some reason, the subject of today's review is the ill-fated and ill-advised movie Gem and the Holograms.
Gem and the Holograms.
Oh, I remember when the trailer for this movie first hit YouTube. And I remember the collective gasp of disbelief that emanated from the internet. I don't think anyone was surprised that they were making a live-action Gem and the Holograms movie. The Hasbro toy company had already released several live-action movies based on other properties with varying degrees of success. So it was really just a matter of time. No, the surprise came from just how badly they appeared to have screwed it up. I didn't know what I was looking at, but I did know it bore almost no resemblance to the Gem I grew up with. If you're not familiar with the cartoon on which the movie is loosely based,
very loosely,
it's about a woman named Jerrica Benton, owner of record label Starlight Music. Her late father bequeathed her a holographic computer with a form of artificial intelligence called Synergy. Using this holographic technology to alter her appearance, she adopts the alter ego Gem, and she forms a band with her sister Kimber and their friends Aja and Shayna, known as Gem and the Holograms. The show follows their many adventures as rock superstars and their rivalry with another band called the Misfits. Haha, no. And their sinister manager, Eric Raymond.
Heard the
I
cartoon
watched the
before.
cartoon when I was a kid, and I am not ashamed to admit that. I was hardly the only boy that did.
Yeah,
sure,
I think I have seen the cartoon before. I think I've seen one episode. Yeah, I think I've seen
this. For a
this.
show that was clearly designed
I
for
watched
little
one
girls,
episode.
it still had some stuff to keep the boys interested.
Personally, I was drawn to the science fiction element of the show. Not only was Synergy a talking computer,
because everyone in the 80s wanted a talking computer,
but she was able to project a lifelike hologram of virtually anything. This was awesome. Was it in any way realistic?
Cool.
Hell no, but I was a dumb child, I didn't care. Also,
gives
for
a
a
shit?
show primarily aimed at little girls, it was surprisingly violent. I don't think there was a single episode of this show where someone did not almost die.
we were watching little girls' cartoons before it was cool. Suck it, bronies.
The show may have been incredibly cheesy.
My Little
It was
Pony
the 80s after all.
reference.
The stories didn't always make much sense, and the animation was pretty terrible by today's standards.
It's kind of sad how I
enjoyed
know
it
that.
at the time, and I still look back on it with fond memories.
And like many of you, my inner child cried out in terror when that godforsaken trailer was unleashed upon the public. It looked like they took Gem and the Holograms, sucked all the life out of it, and shot out a generic story about teenage girls becoming pop stars. What were they thinking?
Poster.
Reactions across the board were overwhelmingly
About to
negative.
say wallpaper,
Some
but it's not
people
wallpaper,
expressed
it's a
sadness,
poster.
others anger, and many just plain bewilderment. People on YouTube hated it, people on Twitter hated it, hell, even Gem herself hated it.
Damn.
What the fuck was that?
That video is hilarious, and you all need to watch it if you haven't already. Link in the description.
Okay, I gotta check it out later.
Finish watching this first,
Okay,
but,
yeah.
after you're done.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
we'll check it
With
out.
such a generic story, it certainly looked like the studio was putting the minimal amount of effort into this adaptation of Gem. To make matters worse, Christy Marks, who created the characters for the original cartoon, was denied involvement with the movie. They didn't even want her as a consultant. They did eventually agree to give her the briefest of cameos, but that's it.
They didn't seem to want much help from women in general, come to think of it.
Wow.
The writer, the director, 6 producers, all dudes. Now, call me crazy, but if you're making a movie with a predominantly female cast or, I presume, a predominantly female audience, one would think you'd want just a little bit of input from the ladies.
Yeah, true.
God damn it, Hollywood, this isn't rocket science.
The studio quickly realized they had some serious damage control to do. Unfortunately, they couldn't even get that right. During an interview with Topless Robot, producer Jason Blum tried to assure fans that their fears were unfounded. It is 100% true to the spirit of Gem. Like 100%.
Yeah,
I think
my
that people
ass.
will be very pleasantly surprised.
No,
So in
they
that
were
way, it's
surprised,
good.
I'm guessing.
Maybe lowering expectations is good. But I think people will be pleasantly surprised for sure.
Lower expectations,
lowering
maybe just
expectations
zero.
is good.
Yeah.
Motherfucker actually said this.
Jesus.
Ladies and gentlemen, I beg of you, if you work in marketing or if you are considering a career in marketing, learn from the mistakes of Jason Blum. Never tell your audience to lower their expectations.
Yeah,
That's just
Fallout
fucking
76
stupid.
done that.
Granted,
Fucking
in this case,
Bethesda,
it was
lower your
good advice, but
expectations
still,
when
you're not
playing this
supposed
game.
to say that.
Yeah, so
Well,
it's,
I think we've talked about the
a
trailer enough.
clear sign
Let's get into
that
the actual movie and see if
they-
it is, in fact,
it's gotta be
100%
terrible.
true to the spirit of Gem.
Spoiler alert, no.
So in the original cartoon, in addition to being huge
Mm-hmm.
rock stars, Gem and the Holograms ran a foster home for girls. But in the movie, they are the foster girls. For some reason.
Okay.
Jerrica's father died when she was 8, so she and her sister Kimber were sent to live with their
Kimber.
Aunt Bailey, played by Molly Ringwald,
How the
Timber.
hell did they get her in this movie?
and her 2 foster children, Aja and Shayna. Don't ask me what happened to Jerrica and Kimber's mother. For some reason, she's never mentioned.
That's a little weird. Although, come to think of it, the cartoon had the same problem. I don't think they even acknowledged the mother's existence until late in the second season, so oddly enough, that's one thing the movie got right.
Yeah, fuck me,
Jerrica,
Jesus.
or Gem
Why
as
not?
she is later known, is played by Aubrey Peoples, who you might remember as Finn's daughter Claudia in the first Sharknado movie.
A
But she was unable
Sharknado,
to reprise her
yes.
role in Sharknado 3
I kinda
as
like
she was busy
Sharknado.
making Gem and the
Sharknado's so
Holograms.
cool
I'm
and
not sure she
cheesy.
made the right choice.
Fucking tornado
and I'm not
Sharknado.
so sure Miss Peoples thinks she made the right choice either.
Her performance as Jerrica is rather uninspired, to say the least. And I can understand why, since the script doesn't really give her much to work with. Her character is just plain boring. Really, the only thing the movie tells us about Jerrica is she can sing. And to be fair, Peoples is a very good singer, but singing alone does not make a compelling character.
She definitely does not pass the Red Letter Media character test.
Shayna is even worse. I can't even call her character boring since she doesn't even do enough to bore me. She's just there. Kimber and Aja at least have something that resembles a personality. Kimber is the bright, bubbly one that shares every minute detail of her personal life on the internet.
Did you
and
just
Aja
put
is
your
the badass
laptop
who
on
likes
that
technology.
keyboard?
Shayna exists.
This is a far cry from
That's
the
an
cartoon
insult.
where Shayna was a strong, intelligent, talented woman who played multiple instruments and worked as a fashion designer. She even started her own clothing line at one point. Shayna in the movie is... I don't even know.
Meh
I got
is the
nothing.
word for it.
They do
Meh.
briefly hint at her passion for fashion in the opening scenes, but that's all we get. Otherwise, she's just a teenage girl, living with 3 other teenage girls. That's about
Everyday
it.
average
Why
story.
exactly was it necessary to make them girls in the movie instead of grown-ass women? Did they think no one would go see the movie unless they were teenagers for some reason? Because I would love to see the market research that led them to that conclusion. So I can wipe my
I
ass
just-
with it. I'm pretty
Wipe
sure
your
any
ass.
kids
Ooh,
who
Young
see this movie are
Frankenstein.
not going to
Nice.
care how close in
It's
age
got
they
that
are to
little
the main
poster of
characters,
Young
and any
Frankenstein.
adults who grew up with the
Star
cartoon
Wars
are
as
just
well.
going to be
but,
terribly confused.
Star Wars, meh.
Anyway, the birth of the Gem persona comes when Jerrica decides to put on a wig and colorful makeup and records herself singing and playing guitar. If nothing else,
I'm more
she
of a
does
Star
at
Trek
least
guy,
look like the Gem
as you
from the
guys
cartoon.
already know.
Oddly enough, she
I
decides to
have a
record this song
large
in the middle
Star
of the damn
Trek
night.
collection.
I'm surprised Aja isn't
ships.
pounding on her door screaming, "Hey, Jerrica! Some of us are trying to sleep here. We do have something
To do
in the morning."
Yeah.
Probably. What do they do all day? Are they students? Are they working? The movie never
Who
makes that clear.
knows?
Then they upload the video to YouTube in record time, it seems.
Wow, yeah, I wish
My
I...
uploads went that fast.
Yeah, I wish I
And
had
somehow
that
they
fucking
skipped
upload
the
speed.
processing time, and
Jesus.
the video was instantly ready for viewing. That's not how
Damn, that's
YouTube works.
incredible.
First you upload
I
the
wish
video,
that happened.
and when that's done, another progress bar pops up for processing the video. When it's done processing,
Takes like an hour or 2
then it's
hours
ready
to
for
upload
viewing.
a video for me, so...
Oh, and during processing, it has to stall at
Yeah.
95% for 2 fucking hours for no
Yeah.
apparent reason.
Oh,
What is it about that last 5% that makes it take
I guess
longer
it's
than the
trying to
other
turn the video
95%
HD.
combined?
I don't know, but that
The
shit
world may
happens
never
all the
know.
time.
Anyway, the video goes viral
Yeah, that's
overnight,
bullshit.
which attracts
YouTube
the
does
attention of the
you
owner of Starlight
uploading
Music,
YouTube
Erica
videos doesn't
Raymond,
work
a
that fast.
gender-swapped version of
It's
Erica
very
Raymond,
fucking
played by
horrible
Juliette
and
Lewis.
complicated.
And she immediately offers Jem a record
it's
deal
always
and 3
corrupting
shows in the
or
Los Angeles area.
always
All that
taking
for
longer
one
than you want it
viral
to.
video. One.
It only takes
And
one
if you
video.
think that sounds incredibly stupid, hang on, there's more. According to the movie, Jem's video got about 36,000 views.
What?
Now, that's not
That's
bad,
viral?
especially for your first upload ever. 36,000 hits
Yeah, that's
in 24 hours is pretty
yeah,
damn
that's
impressive.
pretty damn good,
But
but
nobody is going to offer you a record deal on the spot for one song that 36,000 people listen
yeah,
to.
you probably got to get
Even
like
Justin Bieber didn't get that
500
lucky.
million.
And hell, while I freely admit this is not typical for my channel, I have a handful of videos with over 200,000 views. And you don't see anybody offering me a TV deal. If you're going to have the internet play a big part in your movie, it might be helpful to know just
get it
how
correct.
the internet actually works.
So Jerica emails Erica, hey, they rhyme, and what follows is a rather bizarre conversation. There's a point where Erica sends an email that just has an ellipsis, and a moment later, Jerica does the same thing. Why would you do that?
What?
If you don't have anything to say, don't say anything.
Yeah.
In any case, Erica agrees to sign Jerica and her sisters and picks them up the next day with her driver, bodyguard, assistant, gimp, whatever this guy's supposed to be.
What the hell is
Zipper.
this?
No, my name is Zipper, ma'am.
Is it?
Oh,
Is it really?
is it?
I know they had a guy
Is
named
it
Zipper on the
really?
TV show, but I never thought for one second that was actually his real name.
You're gonna use
And
a
after a
joke.
brief chat, they're
The
off to Los
Zipper.
Angeles, where Jem meets her future love interest, Rio, played by Ryan Guzman. And in this version of the story, Rio is Erica's son. I have no idea why.
He's also
fuck it,
supposed
just
to be
go with
a
it.
college intern, even though he does not look nearly young enough for that. I can believe Jerica is 18. I do not believe for 1 second that Rio is in his early 20s.
Motherfucker, you look 30.
Now that they have arrived at Starlight Music,
boy.
it's time to transform these 4 girls into the world's latest and greatest musical act.
Yep, alcohol, drugs.
The way you
That's all you need.
and the way you look.
Does it also mean being incredibly heavy-handed with your message? Because if so, you're doing a bang-up job.
Apparently, Jerica's earrings do not fit their new manufactured style, so Erica holds onto them for safekeeping. Believe it or not, this is actually a plot point, and we'll come back to it later.
Oh,
Speaking
you
of
gotta
the
be
plot,
joking.
if you saw the trailer, you already know the rest of the story because they pretty much spoiled the entire thing.
They do exactly one show as a group, which is somehow successful despite the power failure, but then Erica asks Jem to ditch her sisters and offers her a solo contract. Aunt Bailey is on the verge of bankruptcy as her store is not doing so well.
I have no idea what
Sucks.
kind of store it is. They only
Who
ever
knows?
refer to it as the store.
The store.
He probably sells sex toys.
Yeah, sex
So
toys.
since she desperately needs
Nobody
the money,
goes into
Jem
a sex
signs the
store.
contract immediately without even mentioning it to her
It's
sisters.
really embarrassing,
They, of
so
course,
people
find
try
out
to
and tell
avoid it
Jem
as
to go
much as
fuck
possible.
herself,
Maybe
a
with your
situation
girlfriend or
easily
something like that,
could
your
have been
wife,
prevented had
you
she
go in a
just
sex store, but
explained the situation.
not alone.
But that would require Jem to not be a complete moron, and apparently we can't have that. Then Jem turns into Lady Gaga 2.0 and does one solo performance, and immediately afterward, she makes peace with her sisters and all is right with the world.
And I do mean immediately. From breakup to makeup takes about 8 minutes of running time. I'm not kidding.
You should have just told us the truth from the beginning, Jay.
I would say, well, then we wouldn't have a movie. But you know what? 8 minutes of running time in a movie that clocks in at just under 2 hours? No, we'd still have a movie.
Oh boy.
So what the fuck was the point?
And so the band is back together, Jem hooks up with Rio, and they all live crappily ever after.
Crappily, everything
That's
after
pretty much the
end.
story in a nutshell.
Oh, yeah,
And I'm
please
sure
let
it's a
the movie
story
end
you've heard
here.
many times before. But how Jem and the Holograms chooses to tell this story is where it gets weird.
Okay.
This movie is also a treasure hunt.
What?
Let me explain.
Back when Jerica was little, her father was working on some kind of robot which he called Synergy, although the name was spelled 51N3RG.Y.
Probably for some bullshit trademark reason. This movie was brought to you by the same people who brought you the Siffy channel, after all.
Daddy Benton never got to finish the robot, but Jerica has been lugging it around ever since for sentimental reasons. But after they arrive in Los Angeles, it suddenly wakes up and starts doing stuff.
Welcome to the Synergy Operating
Sorry, but I had to get comfortable.
Powered by Windows Vista.
This
We
movie is so
apologize in
fucking
advance.
bad, it's making my
LA,
ass
they
sore.
must have activated a GPS trigger.
Oh,
Thank God I
don't
didn't
know
pay for
about
this
that.
movie.
GPS requires power to operate, and I find it a little hard to swallow that Synergy's GPS could operate for 10 years and its battery would still have a charge.
Yeah, damn.
Synergy has a few
that's fucking
pieces
impressive.
missing,
That's
and it's up to the girls to find
evolutionary
them.
fucking
Fortunately, the robot is
technology.
kind enough to project maps to where they need to go.
So instead of using the Synergy computer from the cartoon with its super advanced holographic technology, they decided to just copy Earth to Echo. Weak.
Synergy also occasionally projects old home movies of Daddy Benton and Jerica, but Kimber is strangely absent from nearly all of these videos. Yes, we know who Daddy's favorite was. Stranger still, Kimber doesn't seem the least bit bothered by getting snubbed by her late father.
That's just... what the fuck?
So the first map takes them to a secret compartment at the Santa Monica Pier. Don't ask me how Daddy set that up. It also nearly leads to the girls getting arrested since they had to hop the fence.
We get a
after
little bit
hours to
awkward
get in
here.
there.
Wait a minute. Did Aja just say I can't go back to juvie? There was a story there, and I'm willing to bet it's more exciting than what we're watching now.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Rio shows up to rescue them, and they're free to move on to the next point on the map, the Open Air Club. Conveniently, that just happens to be the same location where the girls are scheduled to give their first concert.
Of
and while they're
course.
performing, Jerica just happens to spot her father's old guitar hanging on the wall. Again, don't ask me how Daddy Benton set this up, and don't ask me why he thought it would even work, since it requires far too many things to go exactly right.
Oh,
But they open the guitar and
Jesus.
find the second missing piece.
And now they have one more piece to find to complete their quest.
A good movie,
And
perhaps?
you'll never believe how stupid this is.
Oh god, what is it?
You remember those earrings Jerica had at the beginning of the movie?
No.
Earrings are the final piece. Unfortunately, Erica has them locked away in a safe in her office, so they decide they have no choice
Come
but to
on,
break into
that's
Starlight
so
Records and steal them
stupid.
back.
You would have
Now,
thrown those earrings
disregarding the fact
away
that
a
there
long
is
time
no
ago.
reason whatsoever for Erica to keep Jem's earrings in her personal safe, there's a simple solution to all of this.
Ask.
All they have to do is just walk up to Erica and say, "Excuse me, Miss Raymond, I believe you have some of my personal property. I'd like it back, please."
Yeah.
Done. Problem solved. And they don't even have to sneak into the building to do it.
Yeah.
Rio is the owner's son, and he works there. He should be able to just waltz right in the front door without
Yeah,
any trouble.
that makes
But
sense.
no. Apparently, their first and only solution is breaking and entering.
Breaking and entering. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Does anyone else get the feeling these people couldn't count past 10 without taking off their shoes?
So they break into Erica's office and easily open her safe since the password is her freaking name.
She's the CEO of a major record label, and her password is her fucking name.
Oh, Jesus.
I totally buy that.
Oh, God.
No, for real. If there's one thing I've learned from working in the computer industry for so long, people are incredibly stupid when it comes to security.
Yeah.
That's probably the
There's
most
a guy
believable
who
thing in
fixes
this movie,
computers and
So they grab the earrings and plug them into Synergy, and what
Fixes
is their
computers and
great
laptops.
reward for
I
completing
agree.
this unnecessarily
people are just
complicated
fucking
fetch quest?
stupid.
A goodbye video message from
With
Daddy
installing
Benton to
viruses
Jerica.
and breaking
Again,
their laptops
only
and
addressed
shit.
to Jerica,
Security
not to Kimber. Though he does at
vulnerabilities.
least have the good sense to mention her name once, so good for him for at least remembering his other daughter exists.
And that's literally all they get for completing Synergy. A video message. Which he easily could have just burned to a DVD and placed in a safe deposit box instead of forcing his daughter to go on this bizarre scavenger hunt
Yeah.
that almost got her arrested twice. Father of the fucking century right there. And this whole thing had jack shit to do with the plot. It's pure padding.
Flubber was more
but
fucking
there's
evolving
one
than
more
this
thing.
shit. Oh
Apparently,
god, no,
Rio's
please no
father
more.
also passed away many years ago. Seems to be a running theme in this movie. And inside Erica's safe, in addition to the earrings, they find a copy of his last will and testament, in which he bequeaths Starlight Records to his son. So Rio is
Okay.
now in charge of the company, and Erica gets shown the door.
Well, how nice for him.
Why would you have that document
Still don't
in
know
a
why
safe?
they felt the need to change
When
the
you want to
story from the
destroy
cartoon,
the document,
so Starlight
not
Records
keep
was
it?
owned entirely by the Raymond family instead of the Bentons.
Raymond.
God forbid they make Jerica a powerful businesswoman. No, 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 no. Having her be a stupid teenager is clearly much better.
Well, that's
boy.
the story of Gem and the Holograms.
Actually, I'm not going to call it Gem and the Holograms anymore.
Okay.
I'm going to call it Gino. Gem in name
Gino.
only. So, as I was saying,
Gino is an absolute
Gino.
mess. It's stupid, nonsensical, and it most certainly is
Haven't
not
watched the movie, but
100%
from
in
watching
the spirit
this,
of
this
Gem.
looks painful.
And throwing in a few random lines from the cartoon doesn't change that.
Showtime synergy.
Outrageous.
Gem is glamour and glitter, fashion and fame.
fuck you, Rio.
Now, I'm not saying anyone adapting a nostalgic property has to copy it exactly. Of course you're allowed to make a few changes.
Yeah.
But the changes have to make sense. For Gino, it feels like they made changes purely for the sake of making changes. Why did they make Jerica and her sisters a bunch of teenagers? Why did they make Rio a Raymond? Why did they make Synergy an Earth to Echo ripoff? I don't know. I'm not even sure the filmmakers know.
Yeah.
But you know what really pisses me off?
Oh,
more
God.
so than the movie obviously not being in the spirit of the cartoon? It's lazy. Criminally so.
The music in this movie is nothing more than mass-manufactured pop music. And it's absolutely dreadful. Granted, the
Mass-manufactured.
music in the cartoon wasn't always great either, but they typically had to write 2 or 3 songs per episode. If you write that many songs, they won't all be winners. For the movie, they wrote 6. You'd think at least one of them would be decent, if only by accident.
I wasn't expecting the music to sound exactly like the cartoon, mind you. If you're going to do a modern retelling of the story, then by all means, update the music accordingly. That's fine. But you can do modern pop music and still put effort into it. I guess whoever wrote this music didn't get that memo.
And those 6 songs only make up about half the music in this movie. The other half is mostly ripped from YouTube. Seriously.
Wow.
Because nothing screams dramatic tension like a couple of high school dudes having a drum off. And it's not just music that they borrowed from YouTube. There's also a buttload of clips of people talking about Gem, and given how fondly they speak of her, I can only assume they're talking about the cartoon and not Gino. And I swear these YouTube clips make up a third of the damn movie. They're everywhere.
Damn.
Hey, why bother filming your own footage when you
When
can
you
just
could just-
license clips from kids' YouTube channels for a
Yeah,
pittance?
just get other people to put them in the
I
collection.
hope they
and-
were at least paid a pittance. They deserve some compensation for being associated with this shit.
Yeah.
And YouTube is not the only internet resource this movie uses. You know how some movies will show a map during a traveling sequence?
Yeah.
Gino does that too, but instead of making their own, they just used Google Earth.
Oh,
I
come
cannot
on.
believe they actually did this.
That's
Even
so
the asylum
cheap.
wouldn't stoop to this level. There are even a couple of shots where they forgot to crop out the Google Earth logo. Look at this shit.
I cannot believe how cheap this movie looks.
Yeah,
And Gino
it's
did not come from some tiny independent studio with no money. This came from Universal.
Wow,
But of course, they tried to
Universal.
fool us into thinking this movie had some level of class with a few celebrity cameos.
Oh yeah, they got a clip of Jimmy Fallon interviewing Alicia Keys, a short interview with Chris Pratt, and some high-quality cell phone footage of The Rock. I wonder how much it cost to get them to appear in this movie.
Probably
Well,
millions.
let's see here. The bit with Jimmy Fallon and Alicia Keys was a poorly edited clip from The Tonight Show where they were talking about the cartoon. And since The Tonight Show airs on NBC, which is part of Universal, it's probably safe to say that clip did not cost them a dime. As for The Rock, he was filming Fast and Furious 7 at
Fast
the
and
time,
Furious
a
7.
Universal picture,
Yeah.
so they probably just said, hey Dwayne, could you take 30 seconds out of your busy schedule and do us a solid and shoot this quick video on your cell phone? Thanks. Again, probably didn't cost them much, if anything. As for the Chris Pratt interview, He was doing that with USA Today to promote the Lego movie, and since
Lego
they didn't
movie.
have to pay Mr. Pratt directly for the clip, probably came pretty cheap. And in that video, he was talking about how he used to date some of his sister's Barbie dolls when he was younger, as well as her Gem doll.
Gem and I dated for like 6 weeks. It was pretty serious.
And in that interview's original context, it was just a harmless joke, and quite funny. But in the context of the movie, ew, she's about half his age.
Yeah, that's
And when did this relationship supposedly happen? Because she's 18 now, but... Oh, God.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh, God,
oh,
no.
God, no. Oh,
Did you put any thought into this at all?
no, that's...
You
that's
sick bastards.
That's,
So
that's,
why
you
did
can't
this
do
movie
that.
end up looking so cheap? Well, the answer was quite simple. It was cheap. Gino had
No
a budget
shit.
of just $5 million, or about
Only.
2.5 Sharknadoes. That right there tells you just how much of a shit the studio gave about this movie. They weren't interested in a
Only
quality
$5
production.
million.
They wanted to produce something
Fucking
quickly
hell.
and cheaply in the hopes of making some easy
That's
money.
not a lot these days for
Fortunately,
movies,
the
I get
moviegoers
it, but-
realized the fucking obvious, and their plan backfired big time. Gino made just a hair over $2 million at the box office, or about 1 Sharknado, and it was pulled from circulation after just 2 weeks. Yikes.
It also has the distinction of having the 4th worst opening weekend for a very wide release.
No shit, I wonder
Which
why.
means it did better than the Oogie Loves, so they got that going for them.
Yeah, oh joy.
Maybe that should have been the movie's tagline. Gem and the Holograms. Hey, at least it's not the Oogie Loves.
And oh, how the critics hated this movie. Hated it.
Damn.
Even Andre the Black Nerd thought it was terrible. And he likes everything.
Andre the
I
Black
don't
Nerd.
think
He
I
was
have
in
ever seen a
the
more
Angry
positive
Video
and
Game Nerd
optimistic
movie.
person on
wasn't he?
YouTube. If this guy thought your movie sucked, you done fucked up.
For the life of me, I can't imagine how anyone thought this movie would succeed. Sure, it's possible to make a quick buck on a cheap movie. It happens all the time. But this is a major nostalgic property for which many, many people have fond memories. People will go into it with certain expectations. And if you don't treat it with respect, it'll come back to bite you in the ass. At the
Flush
very
those
fucking
expectations,
least, you have
go
to show
down
some
the
goddamn
toilet.
effort. Say what you will about the Transformers movies.
Yeah, I
except
hate the
plenty,
Transformers
but Michael
movies.
Bay and company at least
The first one
tried
was
to make
good,
the best
but-
movies they possibly could.
You know,
Did it work?
there's so many of them.
Not really, no. But they tried. The people who made Gino did not.
Yeah.
They tried to take
At
the
least
quick and easy
Transformers
path,
fucking
and
tried.
they all fell flat on their faces.
And you know what? Good. Laziness should never be rewarded. And when a movie this lazy fails to make back even half its minuscule budget, it reminds me that there is still some justice in this world. So if there's any positive we can take away from Gino, it's that.
Well, I think I've ranted long enough here. If you want to experience Gem and the Holograms properly, check out the
I'm good.
original cartoon.
Oh yeah, the
Currently
original
streaming on
cartoon.
Netflix
That's totally
and also
good.
available on
Oh, it's on
DVD.
Netflix.
Sure, it's cheesy and low budget and so very, very 80s, but it still has a certain nostalgic
Yeah, I'll watch
charm
it,
to
but the movie,
Or if you want
no.
a more modern take on Gem, check out the IDW comic.
But stay far away from the movie.
Oh yeah,
Whether you're a Gem
I'm
fan
right
or
with
not,
you
it
there.
ain't worth
Far
your time.
away from the movie.
Well, thank God that's over. Join me next time when we will journey to one of the scariest places on Earth. Detroit.
You sure it's not Superman 64?
Until then, I am the Smeghead, and Hollywood can
Well,
suck
that
it.
makes sense. Superman 64 in Detroit. That explains why all the fucking rings. Sorry, I keep going on about Superman 64. It's branded into my head.
Whoa, wait. Hold it right there. I'm so sorry, I almost forgot something.
What?
This movie has a mid-credits teaser for a sequel.
Oh no! No!
These people think they're fucking Marvel Studios.
Yeah,
I cannot
No
believe
second movie.
they're actually advertising a sequel that has no chance of happening since this movie was doomed to fail from the start.
Yeah,
it's just
don't
further
you
evidence of
fucking
how
do it.
clueless these chuckle fucks truly
Don't
were.
you do it.
But more
Don't
than
you
that,
do it.
it's a taste of what could have been.
If you've seen the cartoon before, you've probably been wondering throughout this entire review, where, oh where, are the Misfits? Where are Gem's longtime rivals? Guess what?
Here they are. Rather than do the sensible thing and put them in the damn movie, they decided in their infinite wisdom to save them for the sequel.
Which, again, will never
Fucking
happen.
hell.
And does she look familiar? Yep, That's Kesha playing the part of Pizzazz. That's fucking brilliant.
Our songs are better. We're gonna get her.
Where was this movie? This actually had potential.
Maybe they couldn't afford it
This
with
should
their
not have
$5
been the
million
sequel. This should have
budget.
been the actual movie. We didn't need that stupid-ass backstory with that stupid-ass robots. All we needed are Gem and the Holograms going up against the Misfits. Simple!
But since Gino was a spectacular failure, I guess we'll never get that story. Well, not unless someone decides to reboot the franchise 10 years down the road.
Oh god, please
Or
don't.
probably more like 5 years. Reboots happen a lot quicker these days.
Yeah,
But
I
seriously,
don't
if
like
anyone
when they
ever
remake
makes another
movies.
Gem movie, Misfits. Put the Misfits in the damn movie. This is not complicated. Misfits. Movie. Seriously. And if Kesha still wants to play Pizzazz, let her, because that is perfect casting.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm done.
Okay.
I'll see you next time.
Alright, see you next time. Okay. Okay, so, yeah, that was, totally awesome. Yeah. Just, let the video end there. I'm just... I'm just overwhelmed of what I've just watched.
And you don't see anybody offering me a TV show. If you're going to have the internet play a good role... Fuck.
Oh boy, that's me. That's me fucking up every time.
Last line, I almost had it.
Yep, I do this every time at the beginning of the video. Normally I go, hey, what's up guys, my name is Charlie, and I always fuck up someone's name, or I always pronounce the title wrong. It takes like 50 fucking shots just to get it correct. Yeah, I mean, that was Cinematic Excrement episode 79, Gem and the Holograms. Very fascinating. Fascinating that he reviewed it, not the movie. It looks absolutely god-awful. Yeah, I remember watching one of the cartoons, maybe one episode, and it was like the glitter sort of girls. Yeah, I remember watching one episode, but that's it. It was very faint. I only watched it once, so my memory is a little bit fuzzy on it. But from what I've observed from this movie, Gem and the Holograms, I mean, Jesus, what were they thinking? They shouldn't have done a movie. I mean, what were they thinking? And they're thinking about making a second one? Really? They're thinking about making a second movie? Yeah, not gonna happen. God, no. We should start a sort of like a petition, so to speak. Yeah, I mean, it was totally awesome to see the Cinematic Excrement sort of review how god-awful this movie is. But did I really have to suffer and endure how god-awful this movie was? Oh, honestly, watching bad movie has become a regular thing, and I'm starting to crumble from the terribleness of the pressure. Yeah, the Gem and the Holograms, I would give it a skip. I'm not gonna watch this. Obviously, it was a budget movie. 5 million sounds a lot. It is a lot for us. But for a movie, not a lot. A movie requires a lot of funds. It goes in the millions. Yeah, you would think 5 million would actually create a decent movie, but it's not the amount of money, it's the creator behind it, the vision. And unfortunately, there was no vision here. There was no excitement. There was just blandness, genericness, and just another crappy movie. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna give this a skip. But if you like this video, make sure to give a like, comment down below, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.